My name is Jim Creel from Wild Horses. I got into Broncos in the late 80s. I bought a 1966 289 V8 Bronco with power steering, so I was spoiled right off the bat. So when I first got my Bronco, I was a roofer. I was a tile roofer for 8 years. At the end of that, I really just was didn't like that anymore, and I found that we could make a living helping people fix up their Broncos, and that just sort of propelled me in that direction. During the same time, I met my wife. It wasn't long before she bought her own 1973 half cab, and that's what got me started. I like to go out and find some mud, and I would take it out and get it stuck in the mud, break parts, and that's just kind of where we got into wheeling, we got into rock crawling, and the Bronco being the capable vehicle that it is. We fell in love with that. We began to buy more and more Broncos and part them out at that time. So it from buying my first Bronco, and then to buying wrecked Broncos to part out and scavenge parts and wheel and deal and trade, to actually evolving into designing many parts myself. And then we've grown this whole team. My wife came on board, and she brings a great customer service aspect. And then we just have built a team of Bronco enthusiasts, car enthusiasts, and over time, of course, my kids have been raised Bronco, if that is such a thing.
I am always reminded of the many, many Bronco trips that we took as a family, yelling at each other about who was going to have to sit in the middle seat.
No way.
And all of the junk food we ate. Oh my goodness, so much junk food.
All the kids learned how to drive four-wheeling in the Broncos.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I remember learning to drive stick, and I remember how annoying we probably were.
We were having fun. We were having a good time. And it was funny watching you guys try to figure out how to operate the vehicle. Okay, step the clutch in. Clutch in. It's got to all be smooth. It's got to put it back in low.
Whenever I go out to trails, if I'm not driving, it's still fun, but I really do find the joy in being able to get in the driver's seat of a Bronco. Now I get to take on all the crazy stuff I've seen my dad take on and other people take on, and my brother has too, and even Kehlani. So now I'll get to actually, do that as well and take part in that and really be able to understand the concept, I guess, of wheeling and how it's more than just gas and brake and steer a little here, steer a little there, so how it all comes together. So that's exciting for me, is just being able to drive them.
It's way more fun. It's way more fun to be the driver, to actually have control. And maybe it's just a dude thing. I don't know if you can relate to that.
Is it more fun to drive, or?
It depends on what mood I'm in.
But when it comes to wheeling, I like the trails where there's actually some
action.
Whoa! Clench your butt cheeks.
So one of the really awesome things is meeting Bronco people from all across the country. This Bronco lifestyle has allowed us to travel around and go wheeling, basically from West Coast to East Coast, and we have friends scattered across the states that we get to go hang out with, see once a year, once every couple years. It's just the Bronco community is a really cool group of people to be involved with.
You'd go every year to an event, and the same people you'd see, they'd actually remember you, and you're like, I remember you.
I remember you when you were that tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always, I remember you when you were just born, when you were barely walking, and I'm like, okay, I don't remember you from last year, but glad to know you remember me.
It's definitely cool to make that connection with the Bronco community, because the Bronco community is just known as awesome, down-to-earth, easygoing people.
It's a bigger family. We got our Bronco family here, then we got our bigger Bronco family scattered out across all the states and even overseas for that matter.
Now, I think I can speak for all of us, that you guys can like totally chime in, but I think it's one of the coolest things to hear, you know, your story, Dad, and just like the throwbacks to 30 plus years ago when you were our age, actually getting this, actually building, you know, this whole thing, but just the Bronco community back then versus what it is now, and actually introducing us into that, and us just being able to live this lifestyle.
A lot of times, like I'll just be like thinking like, wow, like my dad really like made something like from basically, you know, nothing. He built it from the ground up, and I feel like that's a lot of what the Bronco people are all about. You take this rig, this project rig, and you take the frame down, and you just build up from there. So being able to see like everything he's built and what it is now, it's really cool to be able to be a part of that. It's something that I do value being able to have a part in.
It's definitely like a unique experience that I know that all of us have had growing up, and I know that a lot of other Bronco families have, and it's a really cool way to just like unite all of us.
My kids have gotten really involved with the whole Bronco scene now, and they're like legitimately into it. It's more than just a job. They are like part of the Bronco lifestyle. It's been really great to see that.